Hi folks, today we are going to take a look at this Brazilian Apple IIe clone and discover why it has a Z80 processor inside. The TK3000 IIe, or simply TK3000 as we say here in Brazil, in fact in Portuguese TK3000, was a very popular IIe clone and it had some very interesting features. As you can see, it had a numerical keyboard. Also, it had some 3 extra keys and some extra LEDs. We'll talk about them later. Now let's take a look inside it. Here we can see all the usual components you'd find in an Apple IIe. The 7 slots, the auxiliary slot, the 65CO2 processor running at 1 MHz, the cloned memory managed unit and input-output unit, Deep 16 joystick port, component video out, RF video out, a single connector for both input and output of the cassette player, 64K of RAM, keyboard connector, power connector, and here the unusual components, a Z80 processor along with ROM and RAM. Did it run CP/M natively? No. This Z80 processor along with its RAM and ROM are here for a very particular motive, our native language. Our history began in Portugal in the 16th century, which was the country which colonized us. Therefore, we are the only South American country who speaks Portuguese. And Portuguese has a lot of different letters, in fact diacritics, which are very important to our language. You change a diacritic and you change the meaning of the word. Just out of curiosity, let me read for you the 3 different forms, from up to down. Sabia, sábia, sabiá. The first meaning that I, he or she knew, the second a sage female, and third the name of a bird, the thrush. But enough of that, we are not here for history or linguistics. Let's go back to retrocomputing. The real reason for the Z80 is to serve as a layer between the keyboard and the Apple processor, allowing for certain keys to modify the characters. Let's fire up our TK3000. Notice the 2 keys besides the reset key. They are labeled Prog and Mode. If we press Mode, the line marker will change to a C cedilla. Now, if we use the bracket keys, we will add accents to the vowels. The first diacritic or accent is the acute accent that goes over all the vowels in Portuguese. The second one, the tight, goes over A and O. The third one, the grave accent, only goes over A. The last one is called the circumflex and goes over A, E, and O. And let's not forget that the backslash key will give us the C cedilla. Pressing Mode will turn on and off the accented characters. Notice that for making the characters with accents with diacritics, some normal ASCII characters were sacrificed. @ crisscross, ampersand, tight, single quote, backslash, square brackets, and curly brackets. Another cool feature is that if you press Control Mode, it will assign to each key a different basic command, very similar to what happened in the Sinclair line of computers. Let's type in a program. Notice that I will press Shift Control H to give me home. Now I will press Shift Control F for 10, 30. Let's just print hello world. Very imaginative. And now I will press Shift Control N for next. That's it. If I press Shift Control R, it will run. Shift Control L for list. And now it's a good opportunity for the third extra key. That's simply a double O. Let's change 10 for 100. Shift Control R for run. And that's it. Now let's use our Brazilian characters. Let's change it to mode. And now let's Shift Control L for list and edit the line 30. I will translate hello world to Portuguese, which is Olá Mundo. Olá has a background, not cute accent. Now we pressed Shift Control R for run and Olá Mundo. I forgot to say that when you use the control mode program layout, you have a working delete key. Now let's talk about the Prog key. That's the one I find the most interesting and the most useful. It can program any sequence of characters into any key. Let's say, for instance, that I don't like the plot command that it's preloaded on Control Shift P, and I want to change it to print. I don't like to use the question mark. I just press the program key and then Shift Control P, which is the key combo I want to program, and then PRINT, and let's add a space and press Prog again to end the programming. Now if I press Shift Control P, I have print instead of plot, which was pre-programmed. As I said, I found that very useful in two cases. The first one is when we are playing some adventure game and you have always to type the verbs for the actions like get, look, and so on. I could just program the most used verbs into 1, 2, 3, and 4, for instance, or Control Shift 1 or whatever. Another situation where it's very interesting to use the program key is when you want to play some game using the keyboard, and the keyboard layout sucks, like like the case here with Miss Pac-Man. The developers had the brilliant idea to put up and down on the A and Z keys. You have to use your left hand, while left and right you use your right hand on the arrow keys. I'm just not able to do that. I can't use two hands and think up and down, left, right, and use different hands. So I go on and I program the A, Z, left arrow, right arrow into the numeric keyboard, and now I can play more easily. I still suck in the game, but it's easier for me to play it. That's it for this video. I will let you watch my terrible gameplay here in Miss Pac-Man and say goodbye for now. Don't forget to like and subscribe. Bye!